Dark chocolate mousse, a super simple and quick dessert. It doesn't have to be about the emulsification of fats. It doesn't have to be about the critical control of temperature. With a good arm, a good bowl, and a strong whisk, you can make the perfect chocolate mousse with just 2 ingredients. Let's get it. Now, first thing you want to do is look at your chocolate. Today, we've got 70% cocoa chocolate. Now, that 70% basically equates to the amount of cocoa solids in that chocolate. You're going to snap that up into even pieces, place it into a metal bowl. I've just got a pan of water here, one that the bowl will fit snugly on top of without falling in, but not too big that you do get an even distribution of heat around the outside of the bowl. Brought up to the boil about a minute or two ago, and now it's just steaming on the side. I don't want my chocolate to melt fully yet, but what I do want is it to start loosening up and start getting warm while I whisk my eggs. Now, the 2 ingredients that we're using in this mousse are egg whites and dark chocolate, and the quantities that we've got them in will allow the fat, the protein, and the water in the egg white to emulsify beautifully. Why do we put water into ganaches? Why do we put water into chocolate? Some say they don't mix, but what it does is lighten up the flavor of the chocolate. It lifts it and opens it up. You get to feel all the flavor that the cocoa's got to give. Eggs. Medium-sized eggs, 8 cracked into a bowl. You wanna make sure your eggs are fresh, and the way we make sure they're fresh is when we crack them and put them into the bowl, what you'll see is an egg yolk and then the albumin, the white, almost formed around the egg. Not watery, not running everywhere, but a nice formed egg white. Separating eggs, there's been a lot of methods shown over the years. A bottle, the eggshell itself, but I like to use my hands. So you get in there with your fingers and you let the yolk drip between your fingers, add to the other hand, and you end up with this perfectly plump egg yolk. It allows you to have the maximum amount of control, and in my opinion, you've got the least chance of breaking the yolk. But just gently turning this stove on now, continuing that heat and melting down this chocolate. This mousse is very simple, but it's all about timing. You've got to have everything for it to work properly. So my egg whites are in a big bowl. I have my whisk at the ready. If your chocolate is too cold at the stage that you pour it into the egg white, then it's gonna separate. The fats in the cacao will solidify and you'll end up with a grainy mousse. Super shiny, obviously melted. When the chocolate's at this stage, it's on a warm surface. It's not gonna get cold anytime soon. Now we're at the stage to whisk our eggs. Metal whisk, metal bowl, and you whisk. So you're at this stage, your egg white's getting beautiful and foamy. It's just falling off the whisk. Now you pour all of your chocolate onto one side of the bowl so you get an even pour. Whisk like hell with one hand, pour with the other hand. And if you've done it right, it should be super glossy, beautifully emulsified. Now we've just got martini glasses here. With a spoon, gonna lift our mix up, put it straight into the glass. So you have a nice, proud, domed chocolate mousse. You can also set this into a metal bowl and then spoon out to accompany other desserts. So once your mousse is in your chosen vessels, they just go in the fridge. And just like that, about 45 minutes in the fridge and is done. Now, if you want it a firmer set, just leave it in there for longer. The fat bonds in the cocoa, in that chocolate, is slowly solidifying and strengthening those bonds with the protein from the egg white and the water that emulsifies it all together. If you leave it in there for longer, it'll just get a little bit harder. I like mine a little bit soft. 45 minutes to an hour and a half is all they need. Now, if you want to do this at home with a little bit of Cointreau or a little bit of brandy or a little bit of triple sec, if you want to put chai spices in there and do a chai chocolate mousse, you absolutely can. Go with this recipe wherever you want. Now, for the people that don't come from the UK, the eggs in the UK come with the Lion stamp, and that means they are safe to eat. They're free of salmonella and ready to rock straight out the shell. But if you are in America and you don't have such systems in place, make sure the eggs you're using are safe. So to finish this mousse, very, very simply, we're just gonna get some dark chocolate and grate that all over the top, just to create like a matte finish. Looks a bit nice, very easy to do, and you end up with something that actually looks quite elegant. You can do this on a sheet of greaseproof paper if you don't want to get your bench all dirty. Little sprinkle of salt. I'm using Celtic sea salt. Any sort of sea salt will be fine. But if it is big flakes, make sure you crush it up in your fingers. And that's it. Super simple, 3 ingredients, perfectly set chocolate mousse. I thank you all.